What's your story? How did you get your start in business?
Okay, well, it started with my parents, of course. My dad worked at a manufacturing company that manufactured uniforms. Thought it would be easy enough to open his own retail store and to sell the same product that his company manufactures. At that time, I was going to college to get my business degree, my bachelor's in business. And my mother, who had not ever worked before, and my younger sisters, less than college age, were working with her. And so it took a really long time to get started and develop a customer base, and there was a lot of steps to it as far as finding out which customer to go after and what product to carry and how much to carry and how to narrow down what it is that you're going to focus on. And that was back when they started, back in 1998. I didn't come on board until 2004, when at that time this ship was sinking and they said, somebody please come help. And I had finished my business degree, but I was still only 20-something, 22, 23. And since then, there are a lot of different details to learn. Some of the key specifics I think are important is you've got to know what money's coming in and what money's going out. Some of the difficulties they had in the beginning was they knew what money was coming in and what money was coming out, but they didn't take into effect anything that was past due or that was still pending. And that was the turnaround point when we came in and we put all of that together. It started to level out. But some of the mistakes that were made in the beginning was they tried to get too big too fast, and they were not able to do any one thing well. And so it had to be dialed back, and I had to learn. There was no more teacher that told me, hey, Sally wants 10 apples, and if she shares with, making 15 apple pies, how many apples go in each pie. There was no equation given to me. It was like, you have to find out what answers you need to come up with in order to even figure out the problem. And it took me a long time to understand that is a never-ending journey. Every day it changes. And even just recently I placed an order that I don't normally place, like for merchandise to carry in my store. And it seems to have helped. It trended going up. It was just random. It was not what I normally do. And it was things like that we used to test what merchandise to carry, what merchandise not to carry. But at that time when I was able to place this order this time, it was part of an investment in inventory. So inventory is an investment, and you have to know that you're getting a certain return on the investment in order to carry the stock. How well it's received or how many customers decide to buy it, that just depends on the product itself. If it's not any good, they're just going to quit buying it. So you kind of have to start with that, and sometimes building a story or developing a look or an image or an idea. And those will trend for a little while, but if you're doing things that are trending, you've got to make sure that you know that it's a trend, and you have to be ready for another trend.
Do you have any tips for entrepreneurs?
So if you're starting out as an entrepreneur, chances are you have an idea of something that you like a lot and that you believe that other people should like it too. So make sure that when you have your idea, you have an idea of who you're selling it to, what kind of money needs to go in to get it started, and how long does it take to make each product? Is it worth the investment? Time is an investment all on its own.
How do you get financing for a new business?
So if I were a high school student and I were to start my own business today, I would have a regular job, and that's where I would start with my money to get started. You have to find out if what you are selling or what business you're doing, if it's going to be something you want, if it's going to be worth your time. Banks, if you know it's going to work and you know it's going to be great, you finance it. Sometimes you have a mother or an older brother or a friend who may say, hey, this looks great, let's see how this works. Just keep in mind, if you're going with somebody that you know, now you're in business with somebody you know. And so make it work. Make sure you're dependable for them. Follow through with what you're doing. But I would start with my job when you don't have rent and car insurance and kids and all of those other things. I would finance my idea that way. In doing that, you are building credit, and you are building a product and showing your business model so that when it comes time to expand or to grow, then you could go to the bank and then they would have something to see that this is working because of, this. It was an eye-opener for me, all of the information the bank was asking for when they were starting to look for credit to purchase the inventory that they believed the store needed at that time. Now, as an experienced business owner, I do know that the amount of inventory doesn't matter as much as what inventory you have. So make sure you don't hang on to any inventory too long. It doesn't make you any money if you don't sell it.
If I need something to help with the books and money, what resources do I have?
Okay, so the Small Business Administration has programs for new business owners. They're out there, they're free. Things like the Better Business Bureau also has a lot of resources that you can go to find out how to run a business, make sure that you're keeping up with, there's a lot of different things that are important. Personally, for finances specifically, I do use QuickBooks. I'm used to that. It's easy. There's others out there like Oracle and a few others. QuickBooks is a large company, and so it's integrated with Intuit, which does your taxes, and it also does a lot of paycheck things, and it does other things for when you get bigger. But it does have a small personal option that you're able to download on your phone, scan in your invoices, keep up with money going in, money going out, send invoices from it. It's really an all-in-one software that you would need. It doesn't receive payments though. You may have to do something like Square or I know there's certain rules about receiving funds for as payment, like by credit cards, like Apple Pay and things of that nature. So I make sure that my Venmo is my personal Venmo, my Square is my business Square. You keep them separate. That way you don't get things mixed up if you need to reorganize.
What is an LLC? Do I need one?
An LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. It's how you categorize your company as far as for filing taxes and things of that nature. It gives you a business identification numbers, just like your social security number. It's supposed to shelter you from personal, like somebody going after your business. They can go after your business, but not you personally. Truthfully, I don't know exactly how well that does that. Fortunately, I've not had to deal with any of that. But I do know that I have learned that you do have to keep business and personal separate, because when you're filing your taxes and dealing with profits and loss, it gets to be crazy if they're not separate.
What types of questions will the bank ask me?
So if you go to the bank to request a loan, they do want to see projections of what your business is expected to make. They will likely want to see a balance sheet, which is it's a breakdown of your assets versus your expenses to see how much money you have at the end. They will probably ask for something like a cash flow. It's where you are predicting how much money is coming in and how much is coming out, so that you can know when you're running out of funds or when you're going to need it. Or basically what the bank is trying to find out is, are you going to be able to pay them back? And so that's the information that they need to see written down, so that they can know that they're getting their money back, because they're investing in you as well.